the wildest things about travel is when you go all the way across the world to like basically the middle of nowhere, and then something happens and you realize just how small the world is. And this is a story that's like fully explains that concept. And honestly, to this day, I still can't believe that this happened. It starts in Jordan, the country, which is my favorite. It's like one of the top places I've ever been. I've been to 43 countries, and Jordan is at least top 3. So it starts in Jordan, but it actually finishes in Albania. So Jordan is one of those places where like the stuff you can do in Jordan, you basically can't do anywhere else. Part of Jordan is this area called Petra. So it's one of the 7 ancient wonders of the world. It's this big like facade of a building literally carved into a rock. I ended up going to Petra and meeting this guy. He's a Bedouin. He literally lives inside of Petra. Like he lives in a cave inside the mountains. And there's only like 20 families that still live in there, and he's one of them. And this is on like, I think the first day in the park. So we meet, he takes me up to the lookout, just takes a photo, and we just like are vibing. It's very cool. And I'm like, hey bro, I'm coming in here, I'm gonna meet you tomorrow. So I wake up, I'm like one of the first ones in the park. I walk like the 30 minutes down the path through all the way to the facade, and we meet. He's like, bro, let's go up top. Let me show you this other area. So we go all the way up. The cool thing about Bedouins is like, this is where their family's been for like thousands of years. So homie's family is from the desert, like, and the power and like wisdom and energy that comes with someone who's like been in this land since the beginning of time is like absolutely wild. I end up running all around Petra. I did 24 miles this day, just like full speed around the park, taking photos, climbing, like views, all of it. Meet up that night. And then he's like, hey, all right, let's actually meet up tomorrow. Unfortunately, I tried to sneak back in. I didn't want to pay the like $70, 70 JD to get back into the park. I tried to sneak in, got caught. That's a different story.
Give me the passport.
But I messaged him. I'm like, hey, bro, I can't get in. He's like, meet me in my village. So a lot of these people, the Bedouins, like moved out of the park and they live in like this village that's like on the other side of the park. They don't live in the mountains and the caves anymore. They live over here. And so he's like, meet me over here. So we're like hanging out, and he's like, I want you to meet my brother. So he brings his brothers over, his friends, like all his family, and we're just kicking it. And like the energy is so real. It's just like pure. It's like when you connect with people traveling, and especially like locals, there's this energy around it. His brother gives me like an old Roman coin. We're eating like with our hands, like on the desert floor, climbing rocks. And it was just like this super pure connection. So I end up taking off my Live a Great Story shirt at the end. I'm like, bro, this is for you. Like, I want you to have this. There's a lot of power in this shirt. If you just wear it around Petra, like people will stop. They'll talk to you about it. They'll, ask. And so I'm like, bro, you're the homie. Like, I hope I can see you again sooner than later. Peace. All right. So this is like the first part of the story. Fast forward, I think like 2 or 3 months after this, 2 months after this, I'm in Albania. Like way far away from Jordan, in a whole other country in Albania. And I'm with a girl from America who's couch surfing with an Albanian dude who's South African. And this girl from Ireland is coming to meet up with us, who we also hung out with at the party. So it's just like this crazy mix of travelers. And so we're cooking at this guy's house. He spearfished this fish. And we're just like sitting around and talking about all the places we've been. They're travelers, so they've been around. And this girl's like, yeah, like I was in Jordan, and it was just so sick. And I'm like, isn't it the coolest? And like, people don't get it how cool it is. Like, I went to 14 countries. Jordan was the favorite on my trip. Like, I would recommend it for sure above anything else. She's like, yeah, I met this really cool dude, and he was a Bedouin dude. I'm like, yeah, the Bedouins are so sick. I met this really cool Bedouin dude. And she's like talking, and I'm like, do you have a photo of him? She's like, yeah, let me show this photo. She's like scrolling through her phone. She shows me a photo. She's like, this is my favorite photo from Jordan. Like, my favorite photo. She holds up the photo, and it's my homie up in the Petra mountain like range, smoking this cigarette, overlooking Petra in my Live a Great Story shirt. I freaking lost it. I was like, no freaking way. This is so insane that like Jordan, Ireland, Albania, Texas, like all of this together. And she's like, yeah, he was so cool. And he's like sitting there in the Live a Great Story shirt. Petra is in the background. And I'm just like, this is the power of travel. Like this experience right here, connecting people, stories, rad people from all around the world, connecting. I was like, insane. And that's probably one of my favorite travel stories. And if you go to Jordan, you gotta let me know because I'll hook you up with a homie and he'll show you around. It'll be an adventure.